It's a United States love affair with Formula One at the moment, so what a thrill for everyone today to see our drivers lapping COTA at full hot lap speed. It's the Circuit of the Americas, and it's qualifying.
And we've been pushed down to P20. only got 1 lap of fuel remaining.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 turns to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and turn 12 at this anti-clockwise track. It's 3.6 miles long and we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. An immense lap from Mark Webber yesterday puts him on pole position, and Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Stroll, Gasly, Perez, Kelly, Russell, Albon, Hamilton, Sainz, Ricciardo, Hauger, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Bottas, Sargent, and Zhou Guanyu. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me for the first time this season here in the commentary box, Naomi Schiff. Hello, Gnomes. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday, but in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
It is certainly an interesting time in this set of regulations because, as you know, when a new set of regulations come out, everything changes and you always wonder who's got it right. right? Well, we know that Red Bull are the ones who really got it right the last couple of years. But now you can see the rest of the grid slowly start to catch up. And there's really only so much left for Red Bull to get out of these regulations. So it is interesting, and the pack are catching up.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
That start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. You might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. We've got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. Good work, we're in P4. Lando's ahead of you now. They're on fresh mediums. And Verstappen's behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh softs. Okay, so gap to the leader, 4.6 seconds. Look after these tyres now, we want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, just 5 laps until the end. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 1.9 seconds. just ahead. Push for the position. They're on old mediums. Piastri's behind. The distance to the leader, 8.3 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. Oh mate, heartbreaking stuff. That was such a good effort. Look, we might have just about missed out on the championship, but it's been a brilliant season. You've done a fantastic job. I have loved the whole thing from start to finish, and next year we've got the chance to go one better.
And with that, another year of Formula One draws to a close and a new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers. So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix. It's a United States love affair with Formula One at the moment, so what a thrill for everyone today to see our drivers lapping COTA at full hot lap speed. It's the Circuit of the Americas, and it's qualifying.
drop to P15. currently in second place. Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Well, you don't need me to remind you that Formula One is now so beloved in the United States that we race here 3 times a year. But let's give respect to COTA, or the Circuit of the Americas, to give it its full name. This place laid the foundations for this moment and still remains the host of the US Grand Prix. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside of the great city of Austin. This is a 3.6-mile lap with 20 corners, 10 to the left and 10 to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Mark Webber lines up on pole position, and Kelly completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Norris, Verstappen, Hamilton, Gasly, Russell, Albon, Stroll, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Perez, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Hulkenberg, Sainz, Ocon, Hauger, Sargent, Bottas, and Zhou Guanyu. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me for this afternoon's commentary, Naomi Schiff. Good afternoon, Gnomes. And let's talk momentum with this driver. What a sprint it was. They start at 0 once again for today, but with a huge amount of confidence, surely. Well, they'll definitely be glad that there's not a sprint race today. Let's face it, the sprint couldn't have gone much worse, but what we're looking for today is a reaction. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
It's a very special time for the drivers. It's almost like everything around you slows down and you become hyper aware. So your nerves slightly go up, your adrenaline's going up. It's the perfect time to start focusing on your visualizations and preparing for the race. So you want to avoid distractions and really stay cool, calm, and focused.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
DRS now available. out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. Okay, you sat in P2. They're on fresh mediums. Alonso behind you now. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps. Okay, 17 laps to go now. Second place, you're in second place. They're on fresh mediums. That's Alonso behind. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh mediums. You've got 4 laps until your pit window opens. All right, 16 laps to go. window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. You only have to stop once now, one stop left. Okay, go, go, go! Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. And Sights is stopping now.